Morning, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for turning up so early on a Friday morning. My name's Ross Sinclair. I am the Chief Executive of EIP Limited. For any of you that haven't come across EIP, we are essentially a 22-year-old technology-led designer of embedded insurances. And if any of you have been living in a cave for the last 10 years and you don't know the term embedded insurance and haven't come across it, then really, quite simply, it's just any insurance that is offered alongside another product or service. A couple of months ago, we were co-hosting an event with MasterCard in London, alongside a big insurtech conference in London at the time. And we were having it at MasterCard's beautiful offices in London. And because it was on the edge of the main conference, it was on the fringe of the main conference, we called it a fringe event. And I typically had left sending out my invitations to potential customers too late, or a bit too late. And my Spanish colleague, Ana Martinez, had offered to give me her email template invitation to save me some time not compiling it again. So she sent it through to me, and I read the subject matter of the invitation. And rather than saying you are invited to EIP's fringe event at the MasterCard offices, it said you are invited to EIP's fridge event at the MasterCard offices. And I think that evening we had some confused people in the room expecting to get a discount on a Zanussi or something. Language is important, and that's really the sort of theme of this morning's little talk, because it's never been more important, I believe, for insurers, for insurtechs, and for SaaS companies than it is right at this minute. If we move to the next slide, sorry, I need to click the next slide, sorry. Apologies. This is Micheline Bernardini, and this photo was taken on the 5th of July, 1946. EIP is a private company. One of our shareholders has a fairly diverse portfolio of investments. One of the assets that he owns is the brand that originally created the bikini. Back in 1946, a French automotive engineer called Louis Regard created the first two-piece swimsuit ever. And he considered this, he was a fantastic marketeer, Regard, and he considered this such an explosive invention that he called it the bikini after Bikini Atoll, where they had the atomic bomb tests just 4 days previously. He was right. It was an explosive invention, so much so that he couldn't get a professional model to model the bikini. None of them would do it. It was too scandalous. So he had to hire Micheline, who was a nude dancer from the local Casino de Paris. It was so scandalous that it was legally banned in Spain, Italy, Portugal, Australia, the US. The Vatican officially declared it sinful, and there are photos of women being arrested and fined on public beaches around Europe. Ryard, in one incredible act, didn't just create a product. He created a cultural revolution and started a conversation on female emancipation that still reverberates today. So why am I telling you this, apart from the fact it's quite a good story? Well, Ryard, back in 1946, understood exactly what is happening to our industry today. Essentially, markets can change very, very suddenly. Customer behavior can change very, very suddenly. And companies that are bold enough to challenge convention at the right time can quite literally redefine an industry almost overnight. Over the last 12 months, at EIP, we've been working with the new, so not so new now, but the prompt-based AI-driven software development tools. Now, a lot of you will be familiar with these. Some of you might not be familiar with them. They've got wonderful names like Lovable and Claude, etc. The names belie the sheer power of these tools. And essentially, if you haven't come across them, what it is a piece of software, and you tell it what you want in language. So you tap in like a ChatGPT prompt or a Copilot prompt. You tell it, I want a warranty, customer-facing warranty sales page, 4 products, these are the prices, these are the cover, I want a menu system down the left, I want tabs along the top with contact us, about us, etc., customer logo top left-hand corner. You hit the button and it creates it within seconds. It writes all the code within seconds. There's not a human on the planet that can write code this fast. So much so that software that traditionally at EIP we would have maybe taken 3 or 4 months to build for a customer, we can now build in a lot less than a day. They are incredibly powerful tools. What does this mean? Well, it means that the product of SaaS companies, EIP, the product of insurtechs is rapidly, very rapidly becoming commoditized. It means that the value of that product is being driven out. And unfortunately, it means that of the 5,000, 6,000 insurtechs that are out there today, a lot of them may not be with us in 36 months. So in that case, given that I've said that EIP is a SaaS company, why do I not look more worried than I look at the moment? Well, I mentioned we've been working with these tools, and we have pivoted the distribution model over the last 12 months. And essentially, we're calling it venture tech. And essentially, if you think about it a bit like venture capital, where a venture capital company invests money in, say, 10 companies, and they have a methodology that says, of those 10 companies, 6 of them probably won't go anywhere, 3 of them will make some money, and 1 of them will be a racehorse, and it will pay for everything else. That's the methodology. We're doing the same, but we're not doing it with cash, we're doing it with technology. So because it's so quick and easy now to build software, we can offer up software packages for customers with no upfront cost. Previously, the software would have been 25 to 35% of the cost of onboarding, of setting up a deal. We can offer that software in a matter of days rather than months. Now, this means that no longer do we have to walk away from certain types of deals. You don't accept everything, but you can look at deals that perhaps you wouldn't have looked at in the past. And I talked to, at the aforementioned MasterCard Fringe event, I talked to an insurer, an underwriter who covers the US and Europe. And I said to him, how many deals did you walk away from last year? And he said, 9 out of 10. The economics of experimentation have completely changed now. And suddenly it's possible for companies to look at opportunities, to open up opportunities that maybe their competitors are still walking away from. We've missed a slide. There's a slide missing in here. Over the last 12 months, we have also been looking at other areas of language within AI. We have a rules engine at the back end within EIP, which automatically decides claims. And on the front end, for years and years, we've had a chatbot, which was automated as well, but it was very rigid. The chatbot was difficult to adapt for new types of products and for different languages as well. So every company just now is looking at where they adopt AI in their business, and we're no different. And we thought, well, this is the ideal place. We've got the rules engine, which is legally compliant. The front end needs to be more flexible for new products and languages. And we decided that we would build an AI agent, a voice-led AI agent for the front end of this rules engine. And she was christened Ella. And Ella was intended to be able to answer any question on your insurance. So how many claims can I make? What's my policy renewal date, etc. But also to take the information that's needed to process a claim. Pass that into the rules engine makes a decision, and back out to the customer. No humans involved in the process at all. We decided to build this internally for a variety of reasons. And this is hugely complex because we're dealing with a regulated product, And if you do voice to voice, so I'm talking directly to a voice LLM, then there's a massive danger, as I'm sure you know, of that LLM going off-piste in unpredictable and unwanted ways. It's quite risky. Very difficult to put the guardrails in to stop that happening at all. So what we did was we chose to do voice to text. And that means that anything I say to Ella is then converted into text. You can then apply that to a certain narrow tranche of information that is at the back end, and she can only mine that information. She can't go outside. It's impossible to go off-piste. The other complexity is that behind Ella, there is actually 10 agents, not one. So she presents herself as one voice agent, but behind her, there's actually 10 different agents handling different parts of the conversation. What's the customer intent, dealing with security, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we decided to build internally, and the team were deployed to go and create Ella. And 3 months in, they contacted me and said, well, we think we're there ready for a first test after 3 months. I thought, that's pretty impressive. Let's try it out. So I phoned the phone number, and the voice comes on the phone and says, hi, this is EIP's virtual TPA. How can I help you? Beautiful, warm voice, very engaging, very human. I thought, this is impressive. So I said, hi, Ella, how are you today? And she said, I'm great, thanks. How are you? And how can I help you? This is really sounding rather good. So I said, Ella, can you tell me something about my insurance policy? Can you maybe tell me how many claims can I make in a year? And she said, sure, no problem at all. I can check that for you. You're able to make 2 claims in any 1 year. Anything else I can tell you? And by this time, I was seriously impressed. They'd been 90 days working on this. And then I said, well, can you tell me my renewal date? Sure, I can tell you your renewal date is 30th November 2025. Anything else? And I said, just one last thing, Ella. Can you tell me what the excess is on my policy? And she said, sure, no problem at all. And she trailed off, as if she was drunk. It sounded like she was drunk, and she'd just fallen asleep. So I wrote to the guys in the team, and I said, this is fantastic. You've created the world's first sophisticated voice-led AI agent with an alcohol dependency. I'm pleased to say that 6 months later, Ella has been on rehab, and she's now working perfectly. And just to talk to the power of this, we have an agent that runs at something like 30% of the cost of a TPA, a typical TPA, but she can operate in any language. She can handle 22 calls concurrently, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. One agent, well, there's 10, but one agent as it presents itself. So this is the power of language. Now, just to sort of wrap up, for the entire history of technology, language has been the way that humans communicate with humans. But now language is the way that humans, we control businesses, we operate businesses. It's the way that we communicate with machines. It's the way that we build software. And the companies that will succeed moving forward are the ones that use language, don't just have the best software, but use language in order to win business that their competitors think is either too small, too complex, or uneconomic to approach. Language is very, very important now. And it's no longer just communication. It's become infrastructure. Thank you.